Okay, I'm Dr. Lona Cook, and we're filming this for the Remarkable Practice. And right now we're stuck in a hotel room in Newark, New Jersey, coming back from a Haiti mission trip with Peter Morgan. And this is Annie Hoffman, my office manager at Cook Chiropractic. And I thought we'd do a little bit on building our vision and what it means to have an awesome team that's behind it 100%. So I'm going to let her do most of the talking right now, and then we'll kind of connect the dots as we go. So Annie, tell us a little bit about who you are and what your story is and how you found chiropractic.
My name is Annie. I am from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I got my bachelor's degree in kinesiology from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Went right away on to grad school, got my master's in exercise sports science. Wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, but started applying for jobs right away. Had nothing in the chiropractic field in mind. Really, truthfully, had never even been adjusted. Was looking to work for a pro or minor league sports team, doing different things with that. Took a year off after I got my master's, moved home, applied for jobs for an entire year. Didn't even get an interview. Kind of feeling defeated, thought, okay, I'll go back to school again and I'll get my associates. A little backwards, but I thought, all right, going to get something that's a sure job, just going to get a job in it. So I actually got my associates in medical assisting and applied for jobs again for about the next year. And had taken, at this point, my master's off my resume, my bachelor's off my resume, because now I was overqualified, but didn't have the appropriate experience. So I ended up feeling completely defeated, and I literally applied for jobs every day. And my parents, who are really supportive, finally said, take a break, stop applying, just things will fall into place. And that's not really how we're taught to go work for what you want, make it happen. Meanwhile, I've been bartending still full-time, and I was like, I don't want to bartend for the rest of my life. This is just awful. So within about literally a week of me stopping applying for jobs, one of my friends who's also a chiropractor who knows Dr. Lona called me one day and said, still looking for a job? And I said, yep. And in the short of it, within a week, met with Dr. Lona, and the week later I started at Cook Chiropractic and have now been there for over a year.
Yeah, so the thing about it is that I think when we look at this situation, the people that are meant to be in the practice, if you have the faith that you know you need the right person, it's going to fall into place. And I know, like Annie, it was like, for me at the time, I had a great, what I thought was a great office manager at the time, but I realized like there was things that weren't quite fitting anymore, and I had to make that leap of faith that there was someone better out there to serve the bigger purpose. And for us, it was to start another office and do some different things that required having someone that could really run the office without me there, so I made myself replaceable. And Annie's come in and just totally done that. And at the time I didn't know what that would look like because I thought I had a great team, but it took the faith of like saying like, okay, there's something else that we're meant to do, and I need to recognize that I'm having these feelings like, you're walking on eggshells around your staff or doing something that, you can't put your finger on it. And then as soon as they did, it was like the same thing for me. Is like I had to take the faith to let someone go, and here she is now, and the practice has been revolutionized by having someone that's capable of not only running the practice and all the details that come with it, but the practice members love her as well. So it's awesome. And so one of the things I want to talk about now is like, I gave them the opportunity to have like a big end of the year bonus or come to the Haiti mission trip. And both her and Pete, who are going to be on this video, I just want to kind of get their takeaways because they both decided to come on the mission trip, which floored me as well, because I'm like, this is so important to me to do this type of thing. Not only being on the chiropractic mission trip, but you're with a bunch of chiropractic students, and it grows you as a person. So Annie, why don't you tell me a little bit about why you decided to come, and also your takeaways from the trip.
So I think, I remember the day that Dr. Lona said, okay, at the end of this year, you can either have a cash bonus or you can go on this Haiti mission trip, which I had known she had done last year. And again, mind you, before this, we look back 1 year ago, it's completely 180 on I think a lot of the things in both of our lives. And last year, if you would have asked me that, starting out, I would have been like, of course, I would give me the money, obviously. It just seemed obvious. But being so engulfed in chiropractic and what it represents and what it means, when she asked me, it was more of course, I would rather go to Haiti. And So I did kind of bounce it off friends and family, like what do they think. I researched a little bit myself. I know she had come back really sick last year, so I was thinking, I don't really want to be have that situation. But it was pretty much hands down, myself and everyone else said this is an experience that's far more valuable than a cash value. And I think my takeaway from Haiti has been realizing the importance of, yes, chiropractic itself in everyone's lives and how much it can change people, but also the importance of just being there and what chiropractic represents as more of a whole. They see us, they see the tables go down, and they don't even speak cannot understand each other, and they're literally handing us newborn sleeping babies, and with complete trust, because they know whatever we're doing good things, and the level of trust that they have for us was crazy to me, where we'll have patients in the office who for months and months we'll try and explain to them, what it is that we're doing. So I think that was amazing. I think also that it made me appreciate 100% more of what we had and what we do have at home, whether it's shoes, running water, anything, a bed, just appreciating that, and then also appreciating our team and the people around us. We just had a great time spending 24/7 together, but just really learning that we all kind of want the same thing and have the same goals with everything too.
Yeah, and that's what I can add to this is to have people with you that get that it's so much bigger than a 9-to-5 job or whatever it is for you and your practice. Those are special people, and to grow as a chiropractor, to grow as the office manager and as a person, and to do it together is how you grow your practice and your life to the next level. So whatever your vision is, whether it is in your office or in the world as a whole, chiropractically and otherwise, I think your service affects so many people, and to have that mutual goal of like, okay, this is so much bigger than ourselves, and I'm going to invest in my team and my practice and my vision, because it's easy to look at numbers on paper and say like, oh, this is going to cost me X amount. What does that take away at the end of the year? Or you could look at it like, this is going to cost me X amount, but what is it going to bring into our life for the next year or the next 30 years, to have people that are committed to chiropractic, committed to serving the world in a positive way, and committed to themselves and growing and having experiences. So I can't say enough about like how exciting it was to have not only you here, but Pete here, and we actually had a practice member who joined us too. So again, if you put that out there for yourself, you're gonna naturally attract those people into your life to get the job done. Okay, so now we got Pete Bredington, and he is here to just kind of give him his thoughts on going to Haiti, and just a little background. Pete is going to chiropractic school at Life in a few months and has helped me start the second practice, doing the marketing and being a CA and all that good stuff for the last, 7 months or 8 months. So Pete, kind of tell us your story as far as what brought you to chiropractic and where you're at right now.
Okay, so in high school I decided I wanted to go into chiropractic, be a chiropractor, and my uncle's a chiropractor, so he kind of got me started on the right path with everything. And then after I went to Eau Claire for a couple years of undergrad, which is just south of where Lona's practice is, and she had been doing some stuff with the pre-chiro club, so we had been that's how I met her. And I just called the office one day and said, hey, can I get in for an appointment and come see you guys? And so went in, normal, average new patient for them, and just started talking to them more, and always stayed after my adjustments and talked with Lona about chiropractic. I've always had a...
He would whip out this little sheet of paper and start asking questions all the time.
So I'd have a little list of questions, and Lona was great about it because she'd always spend all the time I ever wanted, answering these questions, and eventually got to the point where I'd call Annie and just say, when's a good time for me to come in today? And she'd just find where there's little lulls in the schedule, and I'd come in those times, and the patients who did come in, just I'd go talk to Annie while Lona adjusted, and we just skip around. So that was great. And then after a couple months or so of seeing that, I got a little out of my comfort zone and asked Lona for a job, and then it came up a couple weeks after that. She's like, "Oh, I'm starting a second practice, so you want to help me do that?" So that was the best experience I've had in chiropractic, really.
Yeah, and it worked out really well because at the time I was still full-time in our main practice, so I thought, how am I going to do this? I need someone who really understands chiropractic to be part of the face of the practice in this new area while we're starting to, dip our hands into the community there. So that's Pete, and, he's been so amazing to me because here he is not even in chiropractic school yet, but totally capable of talking chiropractic in a way that most people will never even understand the depth of it. So that's really a tribute to you, Pete. I'm always blown away by how much you know at this point. He's 22 years old, about to start chiropractic school, and knows more than I for sure did starting out. So we've had a great time having him in the office. Annie and I pick on him quite a bit, but we have a good time with it. But again, it was one of those things where the right people found you at the right time, which sometimes you just have to realize, like, these people are coming into your life for a reason, and that's because their purpose and your purpose are, like, in synergy right now. So, starting the second practice, having Pete there doing that, again, it was one of those things where I feel like so in gratitude for having these type of team members, but then also, like, again, looking at, like, what are we capable of because this caliber of person is attracted into the practice. So, he just came back from Haiti with us too, sitting in the hotel room here. Kind of tell us your experience from going to Haiti, being on the mission trip.
Yeah, so Haiti was, huge culture shock for me. It was just a totally different world, and Lona's been great about bringing us. I mean, she brought Annie and I to different seminars, so I've got to go to the Lyceum with her and the Wave, Life West and stuff, and so she's been great about that. So we went to Haiti. I was all on board for it. It was going to be a great time, all that. So, and the biggest thing was, like Annie said, we go out and people are just so trusting and all that. And before when I went there, I was like, one adjustment for this person, what's it really going to do? But then I got there and it does, you see these people who just, their power is just turned on and they're so grateful. When we were leaving one spot, a lady came up to Lona after she adjusted them, and I don't know when because I just came for the end of it, and just gave Lona the hugest hug. You could tell how grateful these people were, always saying thank you. The couple that did know English, or the tiny bit of English, always thank you, thank you, thank you. So, one adjustment can really change a person's life.
I think the mission trip from a whole, you're vibrating at like a different frequency there or something because there's so much trust put in you. We saw some crazy things this trip. I know last time I went, I saw a student with a little help. A guy had a stroke, and after a couple adjustments over a period of 2 hours, he went from being unable to move his hands, they're totally paralyzed, to putting them up over his head and wiggling his fingers. So you see things that maybe we take for granted, but are capable or happening in every adjustment because of that connection that's restored. And I think it just solidifies again on another level that the power that's there when you connect with someone, the power that's there when you put your hands on someone, all of that. And to see that as, a student about to enter school, I mean, how powerful is that for someone? And, I just look at it again, like, here's Pete about to start school, and he's going to make such an impact for his life, for so many lives, for the profession, everything, and it's really cool to be part of that and to start him off like that.
Yeah, and a lot of it's owed to Lona for, helping me along the way. I mean, she's been extremely important, the best thing that's happened in my chiropractic life, so yeah.
Well,
owed a lot to her.
Thank you. So, all I can say is, whether it's taking your staff to a local seminar, there's lots of stuff with your state association, depending on what state you're in, or going to, like, the Wave, or Life Vision, or the Sherman Lyceum. There's so many opportunities out there, New Beginnings, to get involved on a quarterly, monthly, whatever it is for you and your team, once a year, to invest in each other, to have an experience together that grows the practice, and to look at it like this is worth it on so many levels because you're creating something so big that it needs that time to kind of like marinate together and re-soak yourself and your team in what you're trying to accomplish. And I think that in the long run that pays off dividends that you'll never even know. So I'm really blessed to have a great team. Tara is still on flight delays somewhere across the country as we're all working to get back to Minneapolis right now. But I'm glad you watched the video, and thanks so much. I hope you download the book.